Hey folks, how's it going? It's Game Webcam. Welcome to the premiere episode of RoView, the series where we cover a variety of different Roblox games and analyze them and give them a rating based on how good or how stupid they are. Before we start off this episode, there's a few more things that I want to talk about, since this is the first episode of the entire series, first off, I want to give a huge shout out to my close friend Jocii for being the original person who made this series. She was the one who inspired me to make this series first off, and without her, this series would have never existed in the first place. So I decided to make a separate video before uploading this called the prologue, which essentially goes a lot more in depth over what this series is about and what the purpose of it is. If you want to go ahead and watch that video for yourself, you can find it in the top right corner, click it, and you will be able to watch it for yourself. It is not completely necessary to watch it at all. It's just for those who want some additional information in regards to what this series is about. One more thing that I would like to say before I start this video, I have made huge revamps to my Discord server, which you can find the link to in the description down below. In this Discord server, you can get a lot of notifications in regards to videos that I'm working on, videos that I've uploaded, and some key updates in regards to other parts of my social media. This is because YouTube sometimes does not send out notifications to viewers, so obviously they don't get notified of when I make a new video. And in addition, I have under 1,000 subscribers under this channel, so I cannot use the community tab to notify people of any new uploads or any video progress whatsoever. So this is the halfway point that I am going to have to deal with. But if you want to help me get the community tab, you can help me by leaving a like and hitting the subscribe button. It only takes a few seconds, and if you don't like my content, you can unsubscribe at any time you like. This isn't going to be the last time that I'm going to be making this announcement, because I want a lot of my fans to join this Discord server. That way they can get easy notifications for my videos. So you're going to be hearing this announcement for at least a few more videos until I think the Discord has a decent amount of my fan base, and then I will stop making this announcement. But you will always be able to join the Discord server at any time by checking for the link in the description down below. One last thing before I start off this review, and you're going to be hearing this at the beginning of every episode. All of the ratings that I'm going to be making in this series are just my opinion. So I am aware that a lot of people tend to have different opinions for various different games, but this series is for my opinion and my opinion only. If there is something in this review that you personally disagree with, feel free to leave a comment down below and we can talk about it. But keep a mental note, this is my opinion, and please do not take this review as if it were fact. And if I do decide to give a bad review to a particular game, that gives you no right to go out and harass these game developers. They are people too, and they decided to create most of these games because they enjoy making these games. So you have no excuse to go out and harass these people. Alright, I know that was a lot, but let's get started now. So the first game that we are going to be covering in this review is a game called Super Golf. And the reason why I picked this game is because I didn't stumble across this game myself. Jocelyn herself actually introduced me to the game. She was originally going to make a review of this game, but obviously she decided to discontinue her series. And when she handed the series over to me, I thought it would only be fair to make the first episode of the review series on this game. So some of you may be asking, what is Super Golf? Well, if you've heard of other familiar titles such as Golf with Friends or Golf It, both of which are Steam titles that you can get on Steam for yourself, you would know that Super Golf is pretty much the ROBLOX version of both of those games. This is essentially a mini golf-like game where you essentially putt a golf ball across various different golf holes into the hole in either the least amount of time possible or the least amount of strokes possible. Preferably strokes, because that is the main scoring of this game. You compete with several other players in online public servers and determine who is able to complete each map with the least amount of strokes possible. However, if you are the type of person who does not like to play with strangers, you can get a private server that you can play with just you and your friends free of charge, which is a huge advantage to those who are either looking forward to streaming the game or wanting to play with only their friends. As of recording this video, Super Golf has 6 different maps it has to offer: Forest, Oasis, Arctic, Graveyard, Candyland, and recently Atlantis. At the beginning of each session, 3 different maps are chosen from the pool, excluding the map that has just previously been played. Players get to choose which map that they would like to play, and the map that gets the most votes gets selected, and all players have to play that map. This is not always the case for private servers, because owners of a private server have access to an admin panel and can configure many different things about the game, including the map that players get to play on. Of course, the admin panel that owners have access to provide a lot of exceptions to many different rules, so for the sake of time, I'm going to be only explaining the rules for public servers instead of private servers. Similar to Golf with Friends and Golf It, each player has 12 attempts to try and putt their golf ball into the golf hole. Players must try to complete holes in the least amount of strokes possible, with each hole offering a par as a general rule of thumb on how well players should be doing. While you are timed for each attempt, this is not as big of a priority as strokes. As the game progresses, a leaderboard is shown of how well each player is doing, showing the amount of strokes per hole and the total amount of strokes per player. At the end of the game, each player is ranked based on their strokes, and the player with the least amount of strokes wins. Winning a map for the first time allows you to unlock a golf skin related to that map, but good luck trying to do that, because 9 out of 10 times you will be competing against a sweat who will always beat you by a large margin. As you can see, Mr. McClutch here obviously won. You can see the huge discrepancy between first, second, and third place. Like, goddamn. We have Mr. McClutch over here, Mr. Casual, and then obviously everybody else who doesn't know how to play golf. Players can customize what their golf ball looks like by spending a virtual currency on different skins, hats, and other cosmetics. There are 2 different currencies: coins, which can be obtained by completing holes, getting more by getting a better score, and gems, which can only be obtained by getting hole-in-ones. You preferably want to get gems because when you purchase items off of the shop, it is way cheaper to buy items with gems as opposed to buying them with coins. The game has several microtransactions to offer, but all of the game passes and purchases that you make in this game are purely cosmetic. Spending Robux on this game will not give you any advantage, meaning that this game is not pay to win. This is honestly incredibly nice, considering that a lot of Roblox games these days tend to have pay to win aspects as a cheap and effective way to monetize their games. Another huge advantage for this game is its excellent replayability. Whenever I'm bored and can't see any good games on my recommended page to try out, this is definitely one of those games that you can come back and play whenever you're bored and still get a kick out of it, despite how simplistic the game is. Even if I were to rage quit the game, I could still come back to the game and play it as if nothing ever happened. And very few games that I've played are able to pull this off effectively. Oh, yeah, this is just fun. I'm gonna... Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking bullshit. The game also does not require that much skill to play. As long as you're somebody who knows where to shoot and how much power that needs to go into that shot, you're pretty much good enough to play this game. In addition, the game is incredibly versatile when it comes to appeal. Many games on Roblox try appealing to younger children, but Super Golf can appeal to all ages, which is something that isn't as easy to pull off. Yes, there are bright colors, but the gameplay is approachable for anyone. You could be 6 years old or in your 40s and you'll still be able to pick up this game and enjoy it. One more benefit that I would like to mention is that this game has excellent controller support. I actually played this game with a controller myself, and the controller support that this game has is excellent. I can tell that the developers of this game really took controllers and Xbox players into consideration because of how well the controls feel. Although there are a few shortcomings with this. If you are playing with a controller on a PC, you are given the option at the beginning of the game to either choose to play with the controller or mouse and keyboard. Once you select one of those two options, you cannot switch at any time. You have to leave and rejoin the game in order to switch to a different method of input. Also, if you are planning on playing this game with a controller, make sure you have a controller that is brand spanking new or in decent condition, because I decided to play this game with an old Xbox 360 controller that I had years and years ago, and it's in so bad condition that when I try to play this game, there is a glitch with the right joystick where it constantly just keeps drifting down the camera, and it's so annoying to play the game like this because it really makes it hard for me to see where I need to shoot. This probably should tell me that the developers need to fix the dead zone a little bit with the right joystick. There are definitely many things that this game has going for it, but this is a RoView after all, so this game does have disadvantages that I need to point out because this is a review after all. One of the easiest problems that I could state with Super Golf is sometimes the physics can be incredibly inaccurate. Over the course of the several years that ROBLOX has existed, ROBLOX has gone through several physics engines, with each succeeding physics engine getting more accurate calculations and being able to do it with less of a performance impact. However, the latest ROBLOX physics engine is not perfectly accurate, and Super Golf gives a perfect demonstration of the ROBLOX physics engine's shortcomings.
What? What was that bounce trajectory? I'm sorry, what?
The biggest notable example that I can give in Super Golf is bounce trajectory. Sometimes when you make a slight angle change from a bounce, Roblox's physics engine will try to round out that bounce trajectory completely and will try to do it in the most unrealistic way possible. This definitely has an impact on the gameplay because what golf shot probably would have been possible in a game like Golf with Friends or Golf It, which have more accurate physics engines, probably would not suffice in Super Golf. But I'm not gonna hold it against the developers too much because this is definitely something that is out of their reach. They can't really do anything to fix this, unless if they go out of their way to completely code their own physics engine, which I think is an unrealistic expectation on my behalf. But here is a bigger issue that is less out of their reach. The game is very deterministic when it comes to their holes, which is a good thing because it doesn't utilize too much RNG. However, there are problems that arise when a game does not have enough RNG in it or does not have any RNG at all. And this is something that we like to call in the game design world the book problem. The book problem is a dilemma in game design where skill-based games start to be treated very similar to puzzles, where the specific outcome or every possible outcome of a game is eventually played out. No more unique outcomes are available anymore because every scenario has been played through. Players can then memorize all these different outcomes and are able to use that to defeat other players, and the mystery that the game once had is now gone. We see this as a problem with games like Connect 4 or chess, and it's an issue in Super Golf as well. Eventually, people will learn the most optimal outcomes for each hole and will be able to perfect scores, which takes away from the entertainment that the game has to offer. Holes in Super Golf are designed so getting the most optimal outcome requires insane precision and timing, but once a player gets enough practice of the game, getting the most optimal outcome can be much simpler to achieve and then can be memorized. The only way that Super Golf can stop this issue from taking full effect is to constantly update the game with new maps, which seems to be a fairly regular thing, so as long as the game keeps getting new maps added, the inevitable gets delayed. This last disadvantage is more of a personal disadvantage, but this game does bring out the best and the worst in me. Whenever I make a terrible mistake on a hole, it does annoy me a bit, and then I just make worse mistakes as it makes me more angry.
Oh no! Are you
I don't consider this that much of a disadvantage, but I thought it was worth mentioning because this is my personal review anyways. The last thing that I do want to say in regards to this review, and I probably should have said this earlier, but clumsy me just decided to think of this very last second. But the game is made by a game studio called Nosniy Games, which are the same group of people who made Treasure Quest. So I might check this game out in a later episode of RoView, but I thought it was interesting to point out because this is another largely successful game. Joining their group gives you exclusive rewards and all that other sort of shtick. They mention it in the group description. There's not really that much to say. It gives you a rank and probably a skin and all that sort of stuff. There's not really a whole lot to commentate about here. Overall, I would like to give this game a 9 out of 10. I would definitely recommend this game to anybody who plays Roblox, and I think it is appealing to any age whatsoever. It's definitely replayable. It definitely is very entertaining despite how simplistic it is. It's easy to pick up and all that sort of stuff. If there's anything that I did not cover in this review, feel free to mention it in the comments and I will be glad to address any points that people would have, and that's pretty much it. And for those of you who want to watch some casual gameplay of me playing Super Golf, there is a link in the description, or you can click on the top right corner and you will be able to see me play Super Golf for about 10 to 20 minutes. It's not really something that special, but in case if you are curious, the gameplay is there and you can watch it for yourself. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified for every single upload. And be sure to join my Discord servers to be instantly notified when a video goes live. Alright, that's all folks, and take care.